therapy. So what's going on? This week my therapist, I don't really know what's happened. He just said he needed to cancel because of hospital. There are many times in my life where the thing that I rely on ends up being removed from my life and things start to fall apart. These things have been people or events or activities that I would somehow rely on to keep equilibrium in my mind, like whether it be partners, motorcycle riding, driving for that matter, partying, dancing, or just, getting stoned or playing video games, or in the later years, therapy. Yeah, therapy can be a very dangerous activity to rely on. If you are living from week to week and relying on therapy to be able to clear your mind or sort out your mind, and then for whatever reason therapy doesn't happen, it can throw your life into disarray. Now, it's no big problem for me right now. I mean, it's very annoying. I finished work on Friday, but it actually probably was earlier, since archery on Wednesday because I didn't have therapy. And then Thursday I was a little bit agitated at work, and by the end of the day just needed to really leave. Couldn't hang around to involve in the discussion that was going on. And then Friday at work, needed to be very focused on what I was doing, or to hold my focus was took a lot more energy. And yeah, I'm sure that if I did not have podcasts to listen to, or be able to listen to podcasts, because I wasn't really doing any managing, I was just focusing on my work, I'm sure the internal processes of my mind would have been very erratic. So this is my, teach myself stuff day and housework day, and I'm having great difficulty. I am getting extremely frustrated with myself. I'm not able to multitask at all. I'm avoiding housework because I know that this makes me very, it's such a mundane task and such a routine task that you can't help but your mind wanders. It's very difficult to stay aware. I mean, I will get to it, but I'll just have to put the headphones on and get into it. I need to go and do the shopping. I'm also putting this off, but I'm getting sidetracked. So what have I tried to do right now? I tried to have a nap, see if I could reset myself, but I can't get enough. My mind is jumping all over the place. I've tried to do awareness meditation to keep myself centered, but this is also too difficult. I can sense that my anxiety level has increased and my heart rate is extremely accelerated. Recording this probably is not helping right now, but I think it's very important to show things happening in real time. Now, anxiety is generally something brought on by external events. I mean, you can obviously create your own anxiety, but your own anxiety is generally created by something that you're expecting in the future or thinking of from the past, or could be potentially dealing with a situation right now. I am getting tattooed on Monday. Could potentially be a long session. if I can take it, and if obviously the tattooer can do a long session. They contacted me and they're not sure because once they hit the 5 hour mark, they feel really sore the next day. So, I created a plan of having minimal socializing activities over this weekend, so that, I can handle a close contact with someone for an extended period of time on Monday. Obviously, thinking about this in this particular situation of being in a public space, physically exposed, in a vulnerable position, needing to commit to a set time frame, and be in a position of where you're having physical contact and pain, and knowing that tattooing is a very healing process, which is also why I'm getting this tattoo. So it's gonna be quite an emotional journey through dealing with pains and frustrations of the last however long. It's a experience. So I think that's where a lot of my anxiety is coming from, and that's 2 days from now. So it's good to try and be aware of your anxieties to get on top of them. Now, all these little anxiety things of knowing I need to clean, and that's gonna send me inside my mind, and knowing that I need to go and do the shopping, which I'm gonna be in around people and in a high fluorescent light loudspeaker activity, standing in queues and dealing with all the problems that my mind seems to see within society, and which I am also a part of. I mean, I am part of the problem. Need to remind yourself of that. It's like when you're sitting in traffic. You're not sitting in traffic, you are the traffic. I guess the point that I am trying to make is that even though you need to rely on therapy to be there, to be a tool that you can use, you can't rely on it so heavily that if therapy is cancelled for whatever reason, that you can't go on and continue living, basically. With my last therapist, this was a great problem. They would create situations where, like trying to help, but really digging into bringing up new problems, and send you home with homework to try and deal with it, to find out more about it. So you dig up all this stuff and find out more about it, and be prepared, like have all this stuff stirred up, and you're still going to work, and you're still trying to live a life and deal with public and everything, and so you're holding all this stuff until a set time, where you're like, okay, I'm going to hold this until I know that I can release it. And then the therapy would be cancelled. All of a sudden you have to hold this for a whole another week, and this you're not prepared for it. So be prepared for therapy to be cancelled. Know what generally happens. Take into consideration that, okay, therapy is cancelled. I know that now my anxiety levels are going to be raised. I know that I need to have more focus on my thought processes. I know now that I should be taking more physical notes to try and get stuff outside of my head. I know that I should be conscious of who I am spending my time with and the environment that I'm spending that time in. Now, I know that trying to learn new stuff and focus on something on an intellectual level, on a theoretical level, is probably not the best thing I could be doing. But I also know that if I don't do it, I'm gonna feel disappointed in myself. This is the day I've allocated to do it. So I am choosing to do that, knowing that the frustrations and levels are going to be higher. And I think that's also an important calculation to make. Like, is not doing this activity going to increase or decrease my anxiety, depression, frustration, etc., etc.? Basically, you are responsible for your not, like, you are not completely 100% responsible for your mental state, but you are 100% responsible for how far you let your mental state dictate what happens in the physical world. No one can control their thoughts. It's not possible. That's another video, I think. I now need to focus on getting on with my tasks. It's over. Yeah.